righty. Got people coming in. What's up, you guys? Joey, Red Panda, what's up, dude? Starting off here, Joey. Oh, hold on. I got to post the link to this. Give me 1 second. I always forget to do this, and I mean to. All right, that should help some people get in. Schwer, what's up, dude? How was the ski trip? Hope it was good. Looks like fun. And I'm just going to pull the comments back up here. Give me 1 second. How do I do that? Man, every time I touch something, I feel like I break it. Live chat. There we go. Okay, let me go back up here. Gotta have something on the table, right? Okay. Glock 19 or 43X. Totally depends. I would say for day to day, I'm going to carry my 43X like 99% of the time. My 19 was good for pretty much the same thing that my Glock 45 was, which was carrying it on my hip when I was in full kit. So that's just my opinion, though. I think the 43X is way more concealable and a lot more comfortable with the way that I carried my 19 because I had the X300U on it. So, hey, everybody. Rideshare. Hey, Stevie. Hey, what's up, dude? Gentlemen, keep it up. Thank you. This is definitely where I parked my car. Oh, man. Okay, sure. Let's see. Question. What do you think will be your next suppressor? Ski trip was amazing. My next suppressor is actually going to be from Silencer Co. And I'm working with them. We'll see which one's going to be. It's either going to be the 36M or their new one that's like 3D printed. That was dedicated 5.56. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm excited to try it out to see how good it actually is. So yeah, I'm excited. I've really only used my Surefire can, and I love that thing so much. The 300 SPS is an incredible suppressor, but it is big and heavy, so I'm excited to get a dedicated 5.56. Dason, sorry. Where, how did you learn your film photo skills? Yeah, really good mentorship was the key for me, learning all of the skills really quickly. But the largest resource, I think, was a online course called Full-Time Filmmaker, which probably a lot of you guys have heard of or are familiar with. They run ads like crazy. But I was able to connect with the guys who were very involved, who were teachers inside of there, and they became my best friends. And just really good mentorship. Pretty much helped me to get into weddings, start filming weddings, and now, yeah, you kind of just after a couple of years get get used to it, and then you can do whatever you want with photo video. So that's what I did. But I highly recommend, if you don't have full-time filmmaker, it'll get you really involved in um, film and photo. So big resource. Manny, any group get together for range days out in Utah, see Average Joes in Texas, Ohio. Would love to roll out from, no way, coming all the way from VA. That'd be sick. Um, yeah, I think we'd have to plan something. I think that'd be really fun. I think it'd be more fun in the spring or summertime when like everyone could stay out for a long time and we could like bring a barbecue and stuff and like just have a good time for a couple hours. So maybe in the summertime we'll have to plan something. I think that'd be sick. I would love to do like a gunman community range day or something like that. And there's a great range, honestly, that would be perfect for this. Um, like an hour from me. It's pretty central. So that's a good idea. I'm gonna put that in my notes. V45 MOS. Love my 45. It's a great handgun. So I'm gonna try and do something with this live a little bit different than my last ones. Usually I try to go through like every question and then look up guns, even if I try to. So I basically like trying to answer your question, even if I don't know what it is. If I don't know what it is, I'm probably just gonna not skip it, but I'll just say I don't know. So we might just see me saying I don't know a lot this live, but I want to make sure I get to more questions because I'm really slow at answering, which is something I'm working on. So if I don't know, then I'm just going to move pretty quick. So, Leonardo, I love your guns and builds, but I'm unfortunately in Brazil, so I can't have any weapons. That's super sad. Um, yeah, man, dang. I wish you'd come out here, man. That'd be super fun. Jen, what's your favorite pistol and rifle you own? Mine is my AR-10 308 and Glock 23 40 cal. Interesting. Congrats on the tremendous growth. Keep it up, bro. Thank you, Jen. I appreciate that, dude. Hopefully I'm saying that right. My favorite gun, it's so tough. I love them all so much. So freak. Okay, so I haven't made this review yet, but X2's Light Fighter is an AR that I've been shooting a little bit, training with, and building the review on, and I haven't posted it yet. But that rifle, to me, is really, really cool, and I can't wait to kit it out. If I had to pick one right now, it's got to be, so my Glock 45 is probably my favorite handgun, which is 9mm, and probably my 300 Blackout. But if it's not my 300 Blackout, it's probably the X2 Light Fighter that I'm building up right now. Really excited about that one. It's a great, great gun. All right. Kivuo. Kivu. Was the radian lower hard to build? No, not at all. Once you figure out all the parts that you need, you really just buy them and assemble it together. And honestly, the radian lower comes pretty much complete. Like you just have to put on the safety selector, and if you have a drop-in trigger, then it's really hard to screw up. You just drop it in, put the safety on, put a grip on, and then you're good to go. So really easy. Highly recommend it. Ask me videos. Thoughts on in the waistband, keeping one in the chamber. Carrying, I believe that's in the waistband. Always in the waistband, maybe. I don't know abbreviations very well. Yes, so it all depends on how you train and what you're most comfortable with. If you're a beginner and you don't feel comfortable carrying with one in the chamber, then don't. And if you haven't trained to that, then don't carry with one in the chamber. It all comes down to whether or not you're going to be successful in a crappy situation. And that comes down to your ability to feel comfortable and confident. And that comes through training. So my first like 3 months or so, or maybe 4 of carrying a handgun, I did not carry with one in the chamber. And I've always carried appendix style, so in the waistband. And once I trained enough to feel comfortable that I knew how my firearm worked and knew that there wouldn't be any like accidents per se, or like I was just confident enough in my firearm and my abilities, I started to carry with one in the chamber, and now I always do. So that just comes down to training, and you'll become more comfortable with it as you go. So do whatever works best for you and what's going to make you the most effective. Stevie, home defense shotgun. Um, it depends on what you're looking for. A lot of people like to go with shorter shotguns, which does make sense, but it depends on what it's for. Shotguns, in my mind, I mean, I haven't really trained with a lot yet. This is my first shotgun. It is from a company called Vangcomp, and these guys are awesome. They have a really unique porting in their barrels, and this is just their plain standard 590 A1 from Mossberg, and it is a really cool shotgun. I'm excited to build it out. This is going to be a build video that I'm working on right now. This thing is bare bones right now, though, so it's got nothing on it. This is how it'll come right out of the box, and I'm excited to work with a couple companies on building this thing out. It's going to be sick. If you're looking for a home defense gun, I do not recommend a shotgun, though. I guess to answer your question, I would give anybody an AR before I handed them a shotgun. Shotguns are, I mean, yes, it's going to be really effective, but you have 7 rounds and you have to pump it each time, and there's a lot of recoil. So go with an AR, something less recoil, something more easily suppressible, in my opinion. But I guess that's a little off topic. There's a whole bunch to it. Yeah. The curse. Samo is the one who messaged you on Instagram about the photo wallpapers. I'm telling you, man, it's a banger idea. You're right. I do have that note down. I was going to make those actually. So stay tuned. I'm just working on like one project at a time, and I'm trying to finish up like quite a bit of stuff, but hang in there with me. I appreciate it. Congrats on the progress. Looking forward to seeing your brand grow. Me too. I'm so excited. I heard back from my logo designer, which shout out to him. His name's Primo. Look him up on Instagram. He is the bomb. I'm really excited to get my designs back from him. He said that we should have a design here pretty soon, which means that the merch is closer and closer to being done. I do have merch on the store right now. In my opinion, it's going to be like the OG stuff, and you may not be able to get it later. So after I get the new logo, things are going to look really cool. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be sweet. And that'll be a huge way, hopefully, to support the channel. Because right now, I don't want to like really go into that. It's all just me right now, except for one company who has been absolutely incredible. US Arms Co. Huge shout out to them. They reached out to me and they wanted to be a channel sponsor. So basically, they've just been hooking me up with things that I needed, which was huge. So big shout out to US Arms Co. They also got me to SHOT Show, which was fun. So, okay, moving on. Dre, the best 10-round pistol, asking from California because we can't have the Sig P365 Macro or Glock 19X. So the 43X is a 10-round normally. So I mean, I'm partial. There are a lot of great handguns out there. I really do like the Glock 43X. I think it's a great option for a lot of different reasons, but if you have to have only 10 rounds, I think the 43X is a great option. Dylan, what's up, bro? Hope you had a great week. Thank you, man. Same to you. Same. Leonardo, as a person who has never saw and shot a rifle, is it hard to hold the recoil? Leonardo, it is not hard to hold the recoil. It depends on what kind of rifle you're shooting. Different calibers hold different blast impacts. So, but a standard 5.56 AR, no, it's not hard at all. It's really fun. Dylan, so I picked up the 45 MOS, shot probably 200 rounds through it the other day and absolutely loved it. Waiting on my tier 1 holster, then yesterday made a decision and purchased a 19 Gen 5. Nice. Dang, man, going hard on the Glocks. That's sweet. Yeah, the 45 is great. It's a really cool gun, so I'm stoked for you, man. Andrew, is a brand like Noveski worth it? I think Noveski makes some really good stuff, actually, but a lot like most well-known brands out there, you're going to pay for parts that they think are worth it. And if you just build one, you know where each dollar is going to go to. So you could technically buy all of the parts to a Noveski firearm. You could buy the handguard, the barrel, I think, the upper and the lower, and then you could put whatever furniture you wanted on it. So you're not spending $4,000 on things you may replace anyway. So that's just my opinion. I don't think they're bad. I think they're in line with Geisley, maybe close to BCM, close to Radian. They make good stuff. So Francisco, do you own any 22 long rifle? So I'm still trying to figure out the difference between 22 and 22 long rifle. I believe, as the name suggests, it's for a longer rifle, 22, right? So I don't own like any rifle style 22s, but I do have the FN 502 sitting right over there, and I have a Sparrow 22 suppressor for it, which that gun is really fun to shoot. So I have a 22. It's the FN 502 though, not a long rifle. Joey, any recommendations for a good Glock holster for concealed carry? Yeah, it depends on how you want to conceal carry. If you want to do in the waistband. Oh, by the way, does the audio sound okay? I never checked. Hold on. I gotta do this really quick. Test 1, 2. Okay. Yeah, it depends on how you want to carry. If you want to do in the waistband, which is what I train with and recommend. I mean, but everybody's different, so do whatever works best for you. I love Black Arch. I love Tier 1. I think T-Rex Arms makes like a mid-tier one, but they're really inexpensive. So that's why I would recommend them. Like if you don't want to spend a ton of money, I would go T-Rex. I know that, what are they called? Works Holster, WERKZ, makes a good in the waistband holster. That actually solves a lot of problems that I've seen. So I would maybe say tier 1 is the very top, like the nicest. Black Arch is second, right under that. Works holsters are really good, and then T-Rex Arms as like the least expensive, but still really good option. So those are the ones that I would look into. Peter, any sneak peeks on upcoming vids? Here's a sneak peek. This is going to be coming soon. I really just have to get it out. I mean, and train with it a whole lot, because so I don't have a lot of trainings, but I'm excited to like really hit the range and put down a lot of rounds, practice a lot with this. So this is a sneak peek for what's coming. And then well, I'm gonna save the other one, but you'll see. So I've got another one in the corner over there, but shotgun for now. Before the shotgun though, I have the X2 Light Fighter that I'm going to review. So that one is coming as well. That's the one with the Night Force attacker on it. So it's a sweet freaking gun. So that review will be coming next. Let's see. Christith, RMR or Holosun 507K on Glock 19. Which one can you afford? If you can do the RMR, I have really liked my RMR. I think the dot is really clear. I think the window looks really good. I mean, you get all the reliability of an RMR. I think that they are just a great option. I mean, you don't have the battery door on the side and it's not as easy to access, but you really don't need to. I mean, you deal with it like once a year. So is it that big of a deal? Probably not. You should also be checking your screws anyway, backing them out, making sure that they're um, not backing out on their own. So, I mean, I would go RMR, but it depends on your budget. The Hollow Sun is good. I still run it on my, well, I mean, so I wouldn't put a 507K on a 19 anyway. I would go with maybe their larger ones. What are they called? The 509? 509, I think. So I would look into the 509 instead of the our freaking Hollow Sun. 507K, sorry. Chris, hey man, thanks for answering my questions over IG the other day. Just took my concealed carry course yesterday, and I'm picking up the 43X MOS this week. Also have some fun accessories coming in the mail. Nice. Yeah. I try to get to Instagram DMs. I don't get to them all the time. I have 20 or 30 right now that I'm like slowly answering. So thank you though for like reaching out. I love to see the support and I love to help when I can. So yeah, really awesome. My Patreon community comes first. We have a Patreon Discord chat, so I try to stay on that as much as I can. Speaking of which, after this, I'm going to be jumping on there for a second. So yeah, I try to get to DMs though as much as I can. It is really slow though. So I hope you enjoy your 43X though, dude. That's going to be sweet. Train a lot with it. I'm excited for you. Kai, how does the 43X MOS with optic and light conceal compared to a standard 43X? Debating making the upgrade. It depends. Well, so it always depends on how you carry. In the waistband though, so like if I were to carry my 43X rather than my MOS, there wouldn't be a huge difference because I like to carry with a spare mag, and the TLR7 sub really isn't that big. So no matter what, you're gonna have like something there, and the grip is really what you feel the most. I don't feel the end of the gun hardly at all. So it's gonna feel pretty much the same. And I do recommend having a light. So because it feels the same and you get a lot more benefit out of having the MOS version, I would go MOS. Yeah, good question though. Let's see. CZC, what's your favorite miscellaneous items companies throw in for big purchases, stickers, patches, flags, etc.? What's your favorite miscellaneous items companies throw in for big purchases? It's always nice to get like, I mean, I don't mind getting a shirt or a hat. I think that's kind of cool because I tend to, I don't know, I like that kind of stuff. But let me think. What's really cool is when you get like something that's a leather, because that like shows that they're like putting in a lot of effort. So this isn't really on topic with anything, but I bought a camera harness and it was full leather, which makes sense why they include this, but it was just a little like leather keychain. And I was like, that's kind of cool. And it was really high quality leather too. And so I keep that on my keys all the time. That's like probably the one thing that I can think of that I was like, dang, that's actually kind of cool. But yeah, I don't mind patches though. I think patches are sweet. Especially if like the logo or the brand is really cool. I think Onward Research does it really well. Like Grantham's, his stuff is sweet. So yeah, patches are cool. Cal, I'm here, but the AFC Championship game is on, bro. I feel you, dude. Priorities. I get that. Adolfo, what's really good and reputable AR-15 to get? I always so my answer is the same with like all of these. I always recommend that you build one yourself so you know where all of your money goes. This also depends on your budget. And yeah. So reputable would be like the first ones that come to mind on the low budget are Aero and Palmetto. Those are both reputable. People know about them and they've been good enough on the lower end. Mid tier would be I guess Aero falls into mid-tier to me. I'm trying to think of one other mid-tier. Maybe Bear Creek is a good mid-tier. And then higher tier would be, in my opinion, like I guess Daniel Defense, but you're paying for a lot of things that don't matter. BCM is huge. I love BCM stuff. I think they make really, really excellent rifles that are all mil spec and just work. And then Radian makes really good stuff. I know that stuff is great. But under Radian, less expensive for like a feature-filled rifle is the X2 Light Fighter. They really made a great rifle. It's $2,700 total, but everything you get is wildly underrated. So yeah, reputable though. I mean, everyone knows Daniel, everyone knows BCM, everybody knows. A lot of people know Radian. A lot of people know Noveski. I would say they're on their higher end. Um, I can think of a bunch more, but I don't know. I don't want to go super far on that. So yeah, I recommend building one. Find all the parts that you like from companies who do it the best and put it together. That's the best way to get the best rifle. Night Raven, what do you think about the Jackal X ambidextrous charging handle? I love it. Speaking of X2, I put the Jackal X on all of my ARs. I think it is one of the best charging handles on the market right now. I think they actually innovated a new design that is purpose driven and makes sense to me. Also, I love the fact that it is like one solid piece of material. It's they're just indestructible. They're really cool charging handles. I think they look really good. They're just like I've trained a lot with them. I really like them. So I would say huge fan. Definitely something that I've bought and would buy again. Ryan, love the quality you put into your videos. Thank you, dude. I appreciate that. I really, really try. Hello, I just found your channel and loving it. Great quality videos. Thank you. Glitch. If people were worried about overpen with an AR, would heavier ammo like 77 grain hollow point make a significant difference? Overpen. I don't know what overpen is. I am sorry. I'll come back to that one. I'll have to look that up. Chris, any suggestions on how to find a range? I am new to my area, Minneapolis, and I'm hoping to get an outdoor range this summer. I have some trouble finding things on Google. Any suggestions? Dang. So you can I would look on Facebook to see if there are any like gun communities in your area and then ask them for your specific area. I would imagine that someone on Facebook would have some type of community where they get together or something like that. So I would look at Facebook first. That might be a good resource. Google's hard though. Yeah. I don't know. Look just for like public land. What's it called? BLM land? You can shoot on that. Just make sure it's legal to shoot on, and then you should be good to go. Elijah, what AR would you recommend for a first purchase stuck between SOLGW, and Daniel Defense? Are there other options you can recommend for a new shooter? Really like your content. Thank you. I appreciate that, dude. Yeah, that's a good question. So it depends on your budget and what type of rifle you want. So you can, I mean, like, yeah, you can go down into the fence and you're going to have a rifle that works really well, but you're going to be paying for a lot of things that you may or may not replace later to like better fit you. So if it is your very first rifle, I would stay on the lower end, like Aero, and I would build out a full Aero rifle. And then I would add like attachments to make the gun work better for me. So you're spending less on the rifle still for parts that are going to work really well. And then you can kit it out with like better optics, better because you're gonna add a lot. Like, you want a light, you want an optic, you want maybe a foregrip, depending on the barrel length you're using, you're probably gonna wanna switch out the stock. Like, there's a lot of it you want a sling, a lot of different expenses that are gonna come with, a rifle, unless you're planning on just buying the rifle and having iron sights, which I don't recommend, but you can do. Um, you can go on the higher end. I mean, so if it's your first one, build out maybe a lower end rifle, but have like high quality parts, because then you can move high quality parts to a higher quality build when you actually start to like build one, which is what I recommend. So I would just go with Aero. I would build out a full Aero gun because they're good enough, if that makes sense. If you have the budget though, and you're planning on adding all those things anyway, I would look up either the ARX Light Fighter, US Arms Co., not just because I'm sponsored by them, but because they actually do make a pretty decent rifle. I would look them up as well. BCM, if you build out a full BCM gun, it's going to work like probably forever. So that would be probably my go-to, is like a full BCM build, and then kit it out however you want. But yeah, those are some options, something to think about. Kivu, do you think Anderson stripped lowers are good for beginners? I would move above Anderson if you could. I mean, so lowers, if so, you're saying you're going to build out one if you're talking about just the lower, right? Their lowers are like $50, but you can get a much higher tier one if you save up another $50 and get into the $70 to $100 range. $150 range, if you could, will get you a really good one. So yeah, again, I mean, I talked about this in the video. You don't get a lot more when you go up in price other than like features, because they're all pretty much made out of the same thing. And it also depends on how they're made. But yeah, I would stay away from Anderson if you could. It's all mil spec and it's going to do fine. But I mean, I think you'll just regret it later when you're like, I could have saved up $50 and bought an Aero. And not that, like, I'm not sponsored or like think that Aero is the best thing ever, but if you have to stay in that tier, I think that they do make like a higher featured lower receiver that's the better than a lot of the lower tier ones. So I would save up a little bit more. My T1, MPX Scorpion, or APC9. I'm going to go with APC9 on that one, mostly because of the aesthetic. And yeah, that's I mean, kind of a bad answer, but I really like the APC9's look the most. I think I could kit it out and make it look and feel exactly how I want. I also think I like their safety selector switch, in the way that you can kind of switch out the stock profile to like better fit my needs. So I would go APC9. Info Gamer, what up, Nate? How you doing, man? Legend 5, let's see. Yeah. Tyler Kim, is the Omega 9K the best suppressor you've used? Yet for 9 mil, absolutely. Yeah, the Omega 9K is just a wild can. I can't believe how short it is and how quiet it is. So it's also rated for, and yeah, it's a really, really great can. I mean, it's fully welded and sealed, so you're not going to get into it at any point. So if it gets dirty, I don't really know what you can do, but it's a great gun. I mean, a great can. So yeah, I highly recommend that one. Santizold. Thanks for the Johnny Glocks lookout. Yeah, dude. 23 Harlow. Audio is great, bud. Appreciate it, dude. That was probably back when I was asking. Do I have an Instagram? Yeah. Here, let me put the Instagram right here, and you guys can go to it if you want. Let me pull that up really quick. Yeah, it won't. I just figured this out. I'm definitely shadow banned on Instagram. You have to type in the whole name in order for it to pop up. So I'm just going to post the link here. Okay, there we go. Coming in. There we go. Let's see if I can like pin this or something. Pin. There you go. All right, so there's the link. Yeah, go follow me. I always post when I'm going to go live, and I try to do Q&As on there as well, and I also try to get back to DMs. So let me see if I can figure out where I was here. Okay, William, hi, recent subscriber here. Love the content. Really, really awesome stuff. Thank you. Anton, just found your channel this week. Awesome content. Thank you for the hard work. Thank you for saying that, dude. I appreciate it. Jama, dang, dude. You came out of nowhere with your channel. High quality. Keep it up. Thanks. Yeah, it's kind of funny. I was walking around SHOT Show and I was like, how in the world did I get here? Like, this really did. It came out of nowhere. And I'm just really grateful to be here. Real mad. Any budget red dot recommendations? I think HoloSun makes good red dots. If you have to, the Sig Romeo series are not bad. I don't like highly recommend them, but I think that they are better than a lot of the other options. It depends on not the Romeo Zero. Okay, so I'm talking about rifles. Sorry. When I said that, I was thinking rifles specifically. If you're talking about handguns, then I would probably go HoloSun for most of my budget recommendations. Let me think if there's any other off the top of my head. I've used HoloSuns, that's why I can recommend them, but yeah, I'd probably go HoloSun. AKO Mithy, hope I said that right. What handgun do you suggest for self-defense everyday carry? The Glock 43X MOS is what I carry and use and recommend. It is really accurate. It's really easy to conceal. And if you kit it out right, it can hold quite a few rounds. So I would recommend 43X MOS. Let me think if there are any others. It just depends on like what lengths you want to go to carry a gun. I know a lot of people don't mind wearing like super baggy clothes to be able to carry their full-sized guns, which is something like I can't not recommend, because if you're really accurate with those, then that's what you should carry. But the 19 is one that you really can't go wrong with. So the Gen 5 19 from Glock is a great option. 15 round capacity. You can put a light on it or not. Handgun overall. So I would say if you want a really comfortable conceal, and the 19 if you want a bunch of the other features that come with that, which is like a bigger stock magazine capacity and then different lighting options. So yeah, I'm not, I mean, I just recommend Glock because I use them and train with them a lot, and I'd be reliable and accurate. You could go Sig, M&P Shields are really good and beginner guns. You could get a, yeah, it just depends on like what you are accurate with. The Hellcat Pro is something that I might suggest. I need to shoot it more honestly, but it's better than their other version, which is just the Hellcat. So I fully recommend that one. I'd probably go with a Shield before that. Enforcer, a huge fan of the channel. Aesthetics, keep it up, man. Thank you. Drew, what stock would you recommend for an AR-15 SPR build? That's a really good question. So oh man, SPS? No, what's it called? SLS, Magpul SLS is really comfortable for me. I use that one on my 16-inch build. It's not technically an SPR, but it's comfortable enough to where I'm laying prone. It doesn't bother me. I think Magpul has another one though that has like an adjustable cheek rest. So I would maybe look into that one. Depends on how big you want your gun to be. Because if you don't mind it being huge, Magpul makes like that adjustable one where like the stock is literally this big and it like covers the entire buffer tube. So I need to look up the name of that one. But apparently it's really comfortable. So I mean personally I'm going to run the SLS because it's compact, more compact and comfortable enough in my opinion. But it depends on how big your gun is. So yeah. Toby, AK-105, 104, Zenitco build. I need to look it up. Sounds cool though. I like AK-105s. I think they're sweet. Justin, what's your favorite barrel length? Depends. I mean, you're probably talking about ARs. I honestly don't think there's anything wrong. I think that it is a great barrel length for like an all-around gun. Like if you're building out your first AR, I would probably build a 16-inch because you have the ballistics, you have the ability to reach out, and you have a gun where like there's no matter what you do to it, it'll be fully compliant. So you can kit it out however you want. That's if you care about that stuff though. So if you want to, yeah, I really like 16-inch rifles. I just think they're great. So if I'm going with it just like purpose driven, I think that 11.5 is a really good option. Even though I built out, my last one was a 10.3, I like 11.5 a little bit more, I think for some reason. And that could have to do with gas timing. I think Colt dropped 10 5-inch barrels for a reason because of gas timing. So, and they moved to 11.5s, which is kind of weird. I believe. I need to look that up again, but I was reading something about that. So yeah, if I had to go shorter, I'd probably go 11.5, but an overall good barrel length is 16 for me. No love for PWS or Noveski. No love. Oh, okay. Price for the first AR, would you go with a 16-inch or a pistol length? Oh, there you go. So I kind of talked about that actually. I would go 16 if it's your first one. Talking about ARs, I would go 16. Yeah, 16. On the ARX Light Fighter, it was interesting. Yeah, a lot of people are misrepresenting. I think I watched part of it and I was like, ooh, you're close, but you're not fully grasping how cool the rifle is. Mine's going to go in depth when I talk about it because I've had a chance to like actually talk with a person who invented it. And I have a lot of insight as to hows and like why they went with everything that they did. So yeah, more reviews are out about this rifle, and I don't know, just take people's opinion with a grain of salt. Even take mine. Just do a lot of research on it before you form a full opinion, because in my opinion, it's something that's really cool. So yeah, it is interesting though. Stefan, but rifle length 16-inch is heavier. Yeah, definitely. It is heavier. You gain, I mean, pros and cons. Again, you're always going to run into, there's no like perfect rifle for one situation. I would say an overall rifle though, 16-inch barrel length allows you to reach out like close to as far as you would need to, and as close obviously as you would need to, because it's still really maneuverable. So yes, pros and cons though. Weight, not a big deal to me though. Let's see. DJM, any BLM land, aka federal land, hit up and pick up your garbage. Yeah, keep it clean, guys, or else they tend to not let us go there anymore. Eddie 10.5 versus the 11.5.5.56. Oh, I talked about this a little bit as well. Not a huge ballistics difference, if I'm being honest. So if you look at like ballistics charts on both of them, it really has more to do with gas timing and being able to tune your rifle so it runs flawlessly, basically. And so you're not like getting a ton of gas in your face. 11.5, I believe, does that better. I need to do more research on it, though, to be honest. If I was going to build out another shorter gun, it would probably be an 11.5 just because of what I've read so far, which I think has come to the conclusion that 11.5 can be gas tuned better. So that's like pretty much the extent that I know about it. I don't think there's anything wrong with 10.5 necessarily. It's the barrel length that people have used for the last, I don't know, a lot of years to build out short barreled rifles. So yeah, I wouldn't say that you could go wrong there. Yeah, so Savvy is saying 11.5 is better, but I don't know why. Let's see, Anton, thoughts on PSA's new Sabre higher end rifles? I have not looked them up. I will. So no opinion yet. Christian, what a man meant just meant Kurt of Predator Armor, super cool dude. Bought some stuff from him, saving up to buy his armor. Heck yeah, man. Yeah, Kurt is awesome. He's the one who did the plate carrier video with me. He came out to my studio and just like spilled all. He did not read a script for that, by the way. He basically just said everything that he knew about it, which came out to be like a really long video, all the stuff that he knew. So that guy is super knowledgeable, super cool guy. Huge fan of him. Yeah, Predator Armors. I feel like they make great stuff. Jeremy, can you speak briefly about what is to come on the Gunman YouTube channel in the coming months? Excited to watch the quality content. Yeah, a lot of new builds are in the works right now. I'm going to continue to build out and review different rifles. I want to move into different spaces. So like long range, shotguns, more handguns are coming. So a lot of different rifle and handgun and different weapon reviews are going to be like probably the primary of this channel. I also want to dive into medical and have some like professionals walk us through basically standard practices for using a trauma kit. I think that'd be really cool. And then I also want to move into the long range educational space. So I'm not going to do the educating. I'm going to find people who are like very high end individuals to do the teaching on that, which I think would be sweet. So like teaching you how to run dope and find your dope, I think is what it's called, and like actually read your scopes. And so you know where you're supposed to place things. I think that'd be awesome to like have a course on that. Besides that, I'm really interested in just building up a community of people. And I've said before, like, I just like the thought of maybe we don't all think alike. We're all different people from different places, but we have, I do not trust them. And I think we should have a common purpose and goal of getting as far away from their help as possible and becoming ungovernable. I definitely agree with that. Growing your own food. I think self-sufficiency is important. So maybe I'll dive into that, like how you can become more ungovernable. I don't know how that's going to tie in, but I want it to. So that's kind of what the channel is going to look like. That's all really dependent on how the support goes. Because right now, I mean, and up till this point, it's been me funding everything myself, which is, if I'm being honest, has got really expensive. So, yeah, I'm just trying to figure that out right now. Luckily, I've had a lot of companies willing to work with me, especially for like build videos. And what's been the biggest blessing is having US Arms Co. reach out and say, hey, would you love to help you? So far, they've sent me ammo, their rifle to review, so that's going to be extra content for you guys to enjoy. So things like that are huge for the channel. And also, if you guys go to the store tab on my website, I want to create some more resources for you to be able to like support. I have a Patreon. I have a couple different ways you can support, or you can straight donate. So the difference, sorry, I'm going to go into this for like 2 seconds. The difference between you buying merch and just supporting a straight donation is actually huge. I make pretty much nothing on merch, and it's really just for you guys. I wanted you guys to be able to have something. If you do a straight donation, then 99% of the profits will go straight to the channel. So that's a really big benefit to the channel. If you want to support me in that way, then that is absolutely incredible. So yeah, that's what the future of this channel is going to look like. Mostly gun reviews. I want to build a community though. Super excited for it. Russian Waffle. The war in Ukraine ended up coming to the States. If the war in Ukraine ended up coming to the States, what would your ideal gun be? Primary and sidearm. Dang, that's a scary thought. I would most likely run the ARX, kitted out to how I'm going to kit it out, and then my Glock 45 as my sidearm. That's I don't even want to think about that though. I'm not interested in going to war. I do not want anything to do with watching people that I care about die in that way. So yeah, good question. Pretty wild. That would be the ARX. It's going to look like my Attacker 1-8 on there. It's an LPVO. It's just great glass. And I pretty much would want to stay as far away as possible. I might even move to an SPR so I could be in the hills or something like that. Just not in a cowardly way, like just so I could be effective from a distance. Yeah, I don't know. So that's a scary thought. I know nothing about war. So that's, yeah. Ellis, how do you feel about the 80% lowers for building an AR-15 or AR-10? I don't know, unless you're trying to have something that's for personal use unregistered. I don't really get the point of 80% lowers because they're a lot of work to basically manufacture yourself when you could just, for close to the same price, buy one at the store. And it would be everything that you would need. So I personally don't have any 80% lowers. I've just always bought mine from the store. So I don't think they're bad though. I think getting firearms into as many law-abiding citizens' hands as possible is a great thing. So yeah. I don't know the quality though. And especially you doing it yourself, that's, you know, something to think about. DJM Aero are great lowers for the price. PA will have them sale. Primary Arms will have them for sale. What I remember is there's only a handful of manufacturers making lowers for all companies. Yeah, that's likely. That's definitely true. Jeff, 5.56 or 300 Blackout. Purpose driven. It depends on what you're going for. If you want the quietest gun possible, 300 Blackout with still like really good ballistics, 300 Blackout is great. If you want an all-around rifle that's like going to get the job done no matter what, 5.56 because of the ballistics. And those bullets just hit really, really hard. So 5.56 is, and it's more common and it's less expensive. So yeah, just depends on what you're going for. Garrett, have you seen the DEFCON 3 stippling jobs? Thoughts on stippling? Ooh, I have not seen the DEFCON 3. I'll look it up though. Thoughts on stippling? I think it's a great idea. I think more grip is good. So yes, do it. Real life, apologies if you answer this, but would you make a new vid? But will you make a new vid on ATF brace rule? I try to stay out of the, well, I mean, I talk about it a lot on here, but I'm trying to stay out of like the political realm per se, rules and stuff, because they're constantly changing. And I feel like if I put out a video and spent a lot of time on the video, it would just be outdated in like the next month. So yeah, there's also like a lot of education on YouTube right now about it. So I'm trying to fit a different niche, I guess I would say. I'd rather spend my time like teaching you how to build out a rifle and do your own thing, if that makes sense. So yeah, I don't worry too much also about the ATF because I don't care about them. Yep. Kyovu, would a rating lower and BCM upper be a good combo? Also, thanks for answering my questions. I'm very new to this. Yeah, dude, of course. So BCM upper, rating lower, absolutely. That's actually a build that I have. And I love that combination. They are awesome. Yeah, both of those brands, the rating lower is just like impeccable. Honestly, it's really expensive, but a really good lower. So I do recommend. Isaiah just followed. Thank you, dude. I like all of the support means so much to me. So thank you. Austin was just thinking today that your Insta was going to be throttled. I hope throttled's a good thing. Maybe it's a bad thing. I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. Gabo. Never fired a gun in my life, but I love your content. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, you should. You should go and learn how to shoot guns. Find a friend who does it. It's a really good thing to just know how to do, even if you never use it in your life. And it's also really fun. So yeah, go out and find some friends who do it. Morgati. Hello from Utah here. Thoughts on Fostech Stealth Raptor? I have not seen the Fostech. Is that how you say it? Fostech Stealth Raptor. I haven't looked it up. I'll look that up. But I'm glad you're from Utah, man. That's sick. We're in Utah. Send me a DM. Maybe we'll go and train. You read good evening from Salt Lake City. No way. Hey, I'm like an hour away from you. Let's train. Austin, your stuff's great. Thank you, bro. Isaiah, Sig P365X Macro or 43X MOS with shield arms, 15 round mags. I did a video on this when I was like first starting on the channel, and I gave a list of pros and cons to both guns, and it ended up being for me that the 43X MOS was the way to go. Had a lot to do with modularity, but that was at the time. The 365 now has like a lot of modularity options, but it's a SIG. So you run into like SIG issues, which in my opinion, and from what I've seen, are a lot more common than Glock problems. So you could go either one and likely love the gun. And for those of you who have a 365 XL, I'm sure you think it's the bomb, and it probably is. Just for me though, I love the way that I can build out a Glock, and they work really well in my hand. I also don't like SIG's grip at all, which is like a huge deal. It's the whole thing of how good you are with the gun, and I like Glocks more. So hold both, shoot both, and figure out which one you are more accurate with, and then go with that option. Dre, I'm 19. I am a 19 personal, a little big. I think, yeah. Garrett, would you like to live where you? Would you do a live where you rate subscribers' guns? That would actually be really fun. Yeah, if you like builds, and then I can like break them down. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Garrett, thanks. Good suggestion. Isaiah, shield arms mags reliable. So 90% of people, I would even say it's higher, 99, 97% of people don't have any issues with their shield arms mags. And then there are the 3 to 1% who have like all of the issues. I think it has more to do with their gun than it does the mags. I think the mags in general are reliable, but I think people add modifications to their guns that make them unreliable, which was the case for me. So if you're going to carry them, just go out and run like as many rounds as you can afford through them. Obviously do it tactfully, like train, but yeah, if they're not reliable, don't run them. obviously. Duber just bought a 300 Blackout for my first AR. Good choice or bad choice? I did that. Just it's going to be expensive to train with, and here's the thing though: go and buy another barrel, so a 5.56 barrel, and then buy a handguard and an upper receiver, and then you can switch them out. That's the cool thing about ARs, the modularity. You can have both guns. You don't have to build out a whole nother AR in order to have a 5.56. Just go build another upper and then switch them out according to the ammo that you're using. Just don't make them look the same. Don't like make sure that you know which upper is which caliber, if that makes sense. So I don't think it's a bad choice. I think that there are other choices that will help you train more and have it hurt less. If you have a lot of money and you know where to find 300 Blackout, then that's great. I think it's awesome. I love my 300 Blackout. So yeah, heck yeah, dude. Skis, how do you have so much money? Here's the funny misconception about what this looks like is I so I'm doing fine, but I am like this all just costs a lot of money. So I'm not like rich by any means, if that's I guess is what I'm trying to say. What it comes down to and why it looks like I have everything I do is because of the people willing to work with me and like basically a really, really blessed life that I live where I reach out to companies and they're willing to work with me. Besides that, I work all of the time. I am always working. If I'm not working, then my brain is working on how to create more streams of revenue so I can continue to do the things that I love. And I've been successfully running my own business for the last 5 years. I've created a couple other businesses that also help me to do that. So I don't have a lot of money. I just have a really good work ethic. Chris, iron sights or red dot for carry use? I think you could go either way. It depends on what you like more. I think it's really good to get good with iron sights because those are like basic fundamentals and it'll get you in a good habit of uh, like focusing on other things that matter, like your grip and stuff like that. Once you get a red dot, you kind of focus more on like getting the dot in the right place. So I would get good with iron sights first and then throw a red dot on and then use it and train with it a lot. I think they're both good though. I don't think you can go wrong. Numarks, let's see. The Ruger 1022 is the greatest all around rifle ever made. Really? 1022? Huh? The greatest battle rifle. Very powerful and accurate. The Ruger 1022. I might need to look it up. I've never seen it before. So, Elliot, anything under a 14.5 is meh. I don't know. Maybe you're right. I need to look at the ballistics chart again, but yeah. Ghost, are you going to do an AR-10 build soon? If I can collaborate with SLR on an AR-10, like maybe a build kit of theirs, I would do one. I don't know if I really see like I get 308 rifles AR-10 style, but it's going to have to be for me like if I'm going to use 308, it's coming out of like an 18 to 20 inch barrel because that's in my opinion why you use 308. Other than that, it's just kind of like you're not utilizing the full ability of 308. So yeah, it might be like an SPR. I'll have to look into that more actually. Savvy, dude, your plate video was sick and informative. Thank you. Yeah, I want to make more like that, especially, like what I was saying before in the medical space, maybe in the long range style, stuff like that. So yeah, more to come. Kyle, why did you go with the SC15 over any of the other Ambi lowers on the market? I'm in the market and can't decide between the SC15, Mega, Radian, and ADM. So the the Silencer Co. lower for me fit like pretty much exactly what I was going for. I try to minimize the amount of parts that are in the lower receiver because that's where complications happen. Radian did a really good job of like kind of sealing off their ambidextrous lower, which is it like their design is why that lower is so expensive. Besides the fact that you're paying for a Radian like name, but their design is honestly phenomenal. So, if you're gonna pick one, the S15 has like literally one part that you drive in, and that's what makes it ambidextrous, which is what I liked about it. So it's really simple. It's like hard to break, which is cool. And then also like aesthetic wise, it matched what I was going for. The controls though, really easy to use. I really like it. I would use it over ADM, and I've never heard of Mega. So if you were gonna pick, I would go either with silencer codes or Radians. If you have the budget, go Radian, just because of their the quality that they use, the design they use is fantastic, and it's actually a full ambi gun. The silencer codes is not technically a full ambi gun. Um, it's still ambi, but it's not full ambi. Yeah, something to think about. It's also half the price. It if you're right-handed, yeah, it just depends. So yeah, Radian or Silencer Co for me. That's how I would go. Daniel, time to put stocks on everything, boys. I cannot agree nor disagree with that statement. Do what's best for you. But also the ATF is pointless. Johnny, self-reliance, absolutely. Abner, love the videos. Thank you, dude. What's it like living by the gun? What is it like living by the gun? I don't know. I don't know what your question means. Greetings from Los Angeles. This is JC. Currently buying parts to build 2 ARs. Heck yeah, dude. California compliant though. Sorry, man. IDOM thoughts on the Glock 26X. I'm not a huge fan of the 26 at all, to be honest. And I don't really care for any iterations that they make of that gun. I would pick the 43X over any of the 26 series, if that makes sense. George, I'm sure you've been asked this question already, but any advice on what to do with the pistol SBR situation? So I can tell you what I'm going to do and what I recommend. It's not legal advice. It's not it. Do what's best for you. Don't let anyone on the internet tell you to do one thing or the other. There's a lot of people saying just put a stock on it. I understand where they're coming from. Do what's best for you, though. Okay. I can only tell you to follow the law. I do not agree with the law. I think and it's not a law. Like I don't even think that it's a law. The ATF cannot make laws. They do not go through Congress. So it is not a law in my mind. It's an infringement. The Second Amendment was designed like the wording of it was designed not to remind us that we have the ability to bear arms, but to remind the government that we have an inalienable right given to us by God. So just remember that in everything that you do, you have the right to have these things. And the government is reminded that they cannot take that from you through that verbiage. So do what's best for you, but remember that these are inalienable rights. And that's pretty much what I have to say about that. IDOM, yeah, please don't go political. Yeah, I'm trying not to be honest, because I want to keep as many people here as possible. And I know people's opinions oftentimes reflect their personalities and people get offended. So Calvin, hey, love your content, top tier quality. Was wondering if you have any recommendations on in the waistband holsters for heavy set dudes. Yeah, that's a good question. Let me think. So tier one, no, so actually Black Arch doesn't, um, hmm, actually I'd probably go tier one because they're sweat guards. You can choose the height of them, and that's probably what's going to make it more or less comfortable for you. So being able to choose maybe a lower sweat guard so it won't like jab it into you might be a little bit more comfortable for you. If you have a taller gun or if your handle sits maybe a little bit higher, have the sweat guard cover it. So maybe get a longer sweat guard or an elongated one. So it covers it so it doesn't like jab into you as well. So just, and I kind of just said the same thing twice. Now that I think about it, probably go with a longer or a higher sweat guard from tier 1. I think that would be the best option. Let's see here. Jeremy, is your Glock 43X your EDC? I'm so paranoid about switching out my EDC trigger because I love Glock reliability. What are your thoughts? Yes, my Glock is my EDC. I carry it every day. And the reason why I'm so confident with it, switching out the trigger, is because Johnny Glocks uses OEM parts. He basically buys them from Glock, polishes them, refines them, and the only thing that he replaces that's his is the shoe. And the shoe really doesn't do anything. As long as the safety mechanism within the shoe works properly, it doesn't affect the actual reliability of the handgun, if that makes sense. So I trust Johnny Glocks because they're OEM parts, and they've all worked for me like really, really flawlessly. And I train with them quite a bit. So if you're worried about that, which I was, go with Johnny Glocks. You're going to pay for it for sure, but overall, you're going to have peace of mind. So Isaiah, appreciate you, Gunman. Love the feedback. Absolutely. Matt, thoughts on Onward research gear? Yeah, I think they put in a lot of time and effort and also knowledge and experience into their products. I've never used them before, but because they're not really my style, I don't really know if I would build one out. But I think that they have the backing for it. Like, I think the knowledge is there. So I don't think they're bad by any means. Mike, do you always appendix carry or are you scared of blowing your bits off? Hey, that thought is always there, man. It's yeah, that's real. I always use Kydex, so and I always use like reliable stuff. And yes, I always appendix carry unless my style doesn't allow it. I might wear like a big jacket and put it on the side of me, outside the waistband. But 99% of the time, I'm in the waistband, appendix style carrying. Yeah, the thought's there, dude. Yeah, it could happen. I trust Glock to not do that to me, and I pray to heaven above that that'll never happen. Yeah, yeah. Isaiah, inspired by your Glock 19 and 43X build, flawless builds. Thank you, dude. Yeah, I hope it does. I hope it inspires you to go out and train. Build it out, make it look however you want, and make it work for you, and then go out and train. To A Overland, recently found your channel, really impressed, trying to get to a point half as good as your content. Thank you, bro. I really appreciate that. And I hope you do. I mean, like, feel free to copy anything that I'm doing. I really don't care. I think you can send me a DM and I'll teach you how I got here. I just want you to succeed as well. I think it's great. When can we expect the next video? What will it be about? AK build? That's a good question. So the next video is going to be on the ARX. I'm planning on shooting it next week. Hopefully, if things work out, weather, my videographer, buddy who helps me shoot intros and stuff like that. So I should have that one up. What day is it? Mid next month? Hopefully sooner. I have a couple other videos that I'm working on that'll be like placeholders. So like the conceal carry belt, which one I recommend. So the belt video is going to be coming out at some point. And then I have another one that I'm working on, maybe my Glock 45 rebuild. So not rebuild, it's just like what I use now compared to the very first video. So I've got a couple of those videos that'll be placeholders before like big builds. The ARX is going to be a big build though. So it won't be the AK. I am working with a company right now to hopefully get the AK video out as soon as possible. Just stay tuned for it. Hang in there with me. I'm doing like a billion things right now. So just hang in there with me. 2A, also, what's your Instagram? I couldn't find it from the last live. Oh, I pinned it. It's in the if you check out the comments, it'll be pinned. So you should be able to find it. Why don't you have these lives on Instagram? I don't know how to use my camera setup for Instagram lives, so that's why I do them on here. Cordo beat Glock 40X Shadow Systems with CR920 holster with TLR sub. Oh, that's a good question. Shadow systems are funny. I don't know if I think they're just really cool serration cuts, and that's what you're paying for. Kind of. Warrior Poet Society, though, like, I think that he's awesome. And I don't think that the shadow systems necessarily are bad. I just think that you probably pay for a lot of things that you might replace anyway. So, yeah. 2A got a BA 13.7 with a 12-inch Midwest SP rail on an Aero A4E1 upper, and Surefire 3-prong with the Swamp Fox 1 to 10 and UDD LPVO with Hollison's 508T piggyback on a Reptilia RMR mount best upper. Dang, dude, sounds like a beast. Send me a picture of it. I'd love to see it. Isaiah, his Insta is pinned. Yes. Yeah. Jimenez just purchased a 43X MOS yesterday. Heck yeah, dude. Cody, sup nerd? What's up, dude? I'm a super nerd, man. I'm a big nerd. Cloud, what's your opinion on 10.5 versus 14.5? I think there's yeah. I mean, there's a difference. There's for sure a difference. It's if you're gonna so my thoughts on this has always been, if you're gonna go 14.5, unless you're planning on pitting and welding it, I would just go 16, because what I've seen is the ballistic advantage moving from even those 1.5 inches makes like a pretty good amount of difference, and also the gas timing. I mean, it's not a huge difference in ballistics, but the gas timing is what matters to me. I want to be able to tune my rifles, and so they flow properly and they're comfortable. And 16-inch allows you to do that. So unless you're going to pin and weld 14, that's why I think 14.5s even exist, is to basically get around the SBR thing, and so you can pin and weld and have like a 16-inch barrel essentially. So I don't know how they run, though, outside of not outside of like, I don't own them. If I'm going to build out a short gun, it's going to be a 11.5 moving forward, and if I'm going to build a mid gun, it's going to be 16, and anything above that is SPR. So SA, what's some advice you would give someone new to YouTube that's in the gun world? Focus on lighting and audio. Those two things matter a lot. People appreciate when you put in the time and effort to learn those two things. It's a much more comfortable experience to watch someone who understands lighting and audio. Audio is half the visual experience. So if you can make your audio sound good, then people will naturally want to stay longer and listen to you. Besides that, script your videos and take out all of the things that don't matter. Stop telling people about your cat or your day. Just jump right into the content and make sure that you are adding value instead of taking away, talking about things that don't matter. So those are probably the biggest things, though. Yeah. Developed, any thoughts on shadow systems? I did talk about that a little. I think they just make really cool serration cuts, which is like what you're paying for, basically. I know they do put in a lot of quality into their guns, but I've never shot one. And if I was going to build, like, pretty much I just imagine it a Glock designed by someone else who doesn't have as good taste as I do. And that sounds cocky. I would rather build one out. I think that mine look better and function the same. So Calvin just got a 19X. What would you recommend for the first alteration on it? Probably go get some new iron sights, because Glock iron sights are not that good. And that's also like an inexpensive, relatively inexpensive thing that you can do that'll improve your overall shooting experience. Besides that, go get a couple of, well, I would buy a light and a holster first, most likely, and maybe put like a Talon grip on it just so you can have a little extra. Yeah, light holster, new sights, and Talon grip are probably all the things that I would do first. Ghost. Okay, you don't like the Glock 26 series. However, how do you feel about the Shield series from Smith and Wesson? I think that the Shield series are like one of the best, least expensive guns that you can get into if you're first buying a firearm. They've put in a lot of effort to like make a positive shooting experience gun for like not a lot of money. So, and also they're just like really reliable. So I don't think they're the prettiest guns, but I think they come with a lot of features that matter to beginner shooters, and overall making it a like comfortable firearm to shoot accurately that matters to people who are beginning in this world. So yeah, I think they're good for that. ATF is full of crap. Agreed. Margot from Park City. Don't have an Instagram, but I'll shoot you an email. Yeah, shoot me an email. JDM, what other caliber pistols do you shoot? I shoot my 22. So when I go out with my brother, he has a couple 380s, and those are fun, snappy, but I pretty much stick to 9mm. I think it's an effective caliber and good enough for like almost all applications. If I'm going to move up at all, I skip 40, I skip 10, and I go right to 45, like 1911 style, because that's like the one that makes the most sense to me. So yeah, it's either 45 9mm, 380, or 22 are the stuff that I usually shoot. JC, I'm LEO in California. My ARs may or may not be in compliance. If they ever come knocking, I lost them on a fishing trip. Yeah, I mean, that's really common, actually. A lot of people lose stuff, and it's really unfortunate. You just, man, it's an investment, John, what do you think of the M&P Shield? Have you ever have any experience with them? Yeah, I do. And I actually don't. So I talked about them actually just barely. I don't mind them. I think that they are a good beginner gun. I think that they are really reliable and comfortable. If you have to go that route, then do it. But I think there are a lot of other options that you can go with that will be just as good, if not better, for like long term. It's like the Shield is the gun that everyone buys first and then gives to their brother 5 years later. So once they like actually know what they like. So yeah, I think it's a good beginner gun. Savvy, amen, brother. People need to realize we have the right to bear arms naturally, God given. The government nor the Constitution gives it to us. Yes, exactly. Show us guns. Cobb, you got it, dude. Okay, I don't have a ton, but hey, I'll grab a couple. Show you guns. All right. Here is the 5.56 that I don't really talk about since I made that video, but I still have this one set up pretty close to the video, and I've got my 300 SPS on there. Overall, I'm going to get a new optic for this. This is just like a placeholder basically, so it still works. This rifle though is still absolutely fantastic and something that I would trust with my life. It's a great firearm, and the way that I've kitted it out is very comfortable and a great shooting experience. So huge fan of that one. I've never talked about this one on the channel. I was going to do a video on it. It's the FN 502, the one that I was just talking about. So here's this guy. Pretty cool. And it's got the Sparrow 22 on here. Definitely yeah, it's like definitely one of the quietest guns that I own. This is like a rat killer. So yeah, really cool. 15 round mag capacity, and I've never had any issues with these mags. I keep self-defense rounds in here. 22, funny enough, only make a couple. No, not that I know of. They make these like silver, I think these are federal, but they're self-defense rounds. So I don't know what the difference is compared to a normal 22. They look the same. They're just silver. So yeah, that's a really fun gun. And then we have this one, which is just within my reach. This is the Mossberg 590A1 by Vangcomp. And they have their porting on the side right here, which I'm excited to see how that affects the overall shooting experience. But yeah, I'm also really excited to kit out this shotgun and make it work for me, because stock shotguns are pretty uncomfortable to shoot, but I'm excited to make that one a lot more comfortable. And then I've got one more right here on me, which is my 43X MOS, but I talk about that one all the time. So yeah, just within reach, there's a couple. George, best multi-caliber suppressor. Also, what are your thoughts on the new Hollow Sun Thermal? Yeah, multi-cal suppressors are, it depends on what you need it for. So the Silencer Co. Omega 36M is, I think is what it's called, does like almost everything, which is wild. So you could throw that can, I think, on 9mm all the way through all of your rifles and everything except for, there's like one specific fat round that just it won't go through. So the Omega 36M is a great option if you want something that's going to like do pretty much all of your guns. If you want to cover your standard 5.56 up to 308, and in that category, the Surefire 300 SPS, which is what this was my first can, and I do not regret this thing at all. It is fantastic. It's been like absolutely wonderful for my first can. I've thrown it on all of my ARs from my 300 Blackout to like all of my 5.56 guns, and it just runs. This thing is fantastic, and it does a great job at signature reduction, which is why you buy a can. So I cannot not recommend this one. It's fantastic. I haven't used the 36M yet, but from what I've seen, I've only heard one person say that they didn't like it, but I think that was for different reasons. So yeah, those are good. Ethan, how do you like Aero Precision? Yeah, I think they're good on the lower end scale. I mean, so like less expensive. I wouldn't say they're bad by any means. I think they built up a really good business model that allows a lot of people to get guns into their hands, which is cool. And I think that they create really good feature-filled lowers and rifles in general for a reasonable price. Yeah. IDOM, you remind me of Ivan from Kit Badger. Oh, I appreciate that, dude. He's a really cool guy. I've never met him, but I've watched his channel quite a bit, and he actually just lost his YouTube channel. So sad. So anyone who's lost their channel, just go and help them out in any way you can. Find them on other places. I'm not sure where he is, but poor guy lost his whole channel. Mario, hey, has your plate carrier setup evolved since that video you last talked about it? That video changed my mind about the AC1, and it takes a serious as a viable, and I take it serious as a viable plate carrier. So mine currently hasn't changed at all. If I'm going to upgrade, I actually do have plans to create a new plate carrier and video setup essentially. I talked about this a little bit, but I'm likely going to go with Faro Concepts as the base layer, I guess you could say. like as the actual plate carrier itself, and then build it out from there. I still think that the AC one is like the best slick carrier. It just has everything you need on it. It's for me, it was exactly what I needed to like get into the game, and it still does. I mean, exactly what I needed to. So it hasn't changed yet. If I'm gonna build out a new one though for like a heavy setup, if that makes sense. So I definitely still recommend this one as a slim setup. Heavy setups coming. 2A Overland. Check out Zaviri Precision Glock slides and barrels. I have a Glock 17 slide and a twisted barrel from them, and Tyrant Designs trigger shoe and an Apex 3.5 trigger bar with an RMR on top. Sounds cool. I have heard of Zafiri. I haven't looked them up though, so I'll do that. Screenshot. Desert Punks, the algorithm put me on your content. Been trying to develop myself on and off for the past 2-ish years, but finally committing and found your project all at the right time. Cheers. Heck yeah, dude. Let's go. Trim Thicket. I put together your 43X except for the light. Everything I dreamed it could be. Heck yeah, dude. I love to hear that. The 007 Craig. What buffer weight would you recommend for a 12.5 suppressed AR? H2, almost always. So yeah, 16-inch and above, you usually go H1 or just the H, like the standard. So H or H1 for 16-inch and above. Anything below 16 inches is generally going to be an H2 or an H3. I would stick to H2 though for years. H2. And then if you can't get the gas tuning right, then drop it down. Maybe to H3, but it's likely going to work with an H2. Want to work for clips or MW clips. What do you think of Slate Black Industries? I do not know. I need to look them up. I don't know. I haven't heard of them yet. That's what she said. Cloudy. What was the intention to pin and weld? No. He might have been talking to someone else. Mike ISO, I'm curious, what's your go-to camera and gun EDC? Wait, what's your go-to camera and gun EDC? I'm running the R5 with a 2870 and Glock 43X MOS. Oh, nice. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yes, so if I am shooting on my R5, it is almost always on the 51.2 from Canon. I love that lens. It looks so good. But I commonly use the 35, which is what you're looking on right now, looking at me through right now. And then the 70 to 200 you can just get the most buttery, best, coolest cinematic looking shots on the 70 to 200 if you know how to use it. Using depth, love that lens. So 7200 or the 50, and the R5 is mine as well. And my EDC is always the Glock 43X MOS. Love that one. I'm going to set this down so it doesn't fall. Chris, any recommendations for best practice ammo? Just whatever is the cheapest or something in particular? I usually buy Federal. That's usually pretty inexpensive, and it gets the job done. Love Federal. So what do I have over there? Yep, it's Federal. There was a website I was buying from, is to a warehouse, and they had this Ingman stuff, which actually surprisingly has been very reliable so far. I've had like maybe one malfunction in like the 1,000 or so rounds that I've shot of it. So yeah, Ingman, not bad at all. Okay, cool. Let's see. Topher Amos. Don't say you're using 30 round magazines, say it's 29. Yeah, it's 29. Mitchell, IDK, what's going on with my 300 Blackout pistol? I was trying to make it super short, so the gassing is weird, but got it to work. It does not work with the rounds with flat bullet face. Interesting. It could be a number of things. So it could be just the fact that the round doesn't have, um, well, yeah, it could be so many things. I'm sorry, dude. Dang, that's weird. Calvin, will you cover bug out bags in the future content? Yeah. So yes, I will. The only reason I'm hesitant on that is I'm most likely or more likely go a 72-hour kit rather than like a bug per se. I'd rather sorry. My views on this align more with Warrior Poet Societies, where he's like, why would you bug out when you have everything that you need at home? I mean, obviously, bugging out is if you absolutely had to, but I would call my bag that I would grab a 72-hour kit rather than like a bug out bag. Because I do not plan on bugging out. I plan on staying in and holding my house as long as possible because there's not a single chance I can carry everything that I'm going to need to bug out. If I absolutely had to, I'm going to grab my 72-hour kit and like fully kit up. So yeah, I will cover what I would carry though. It absolutely had to leave my house. So yeah. Puddle jumper, late to the party. Do you run with a film crew, buddy, or just a camera guy for the B-roll? Also, what type of camera gear do you use? Yeah, great question. So I have, since being in the wedding industry and my mentors and like best friends, I basically have a lot of resources to be able to shoot my videos. All of the stuff inside the studio that you see is all me, and I edit everything, but I do have buddies who help me shoot. They're all my best friends. It's either Dallin, Aldis, Jake Weisler has shot them with me. Nate Tehan has shot one with me. Nate Taylor, and I hope I don't forget anybody. Those guys I know for sure have shot with me, and I'm grateful for them so much. They're amazing people, and also just like I would consider my very best friends. I love them so much. So I got lucky. All of my best friends are videographers and are all extremely talented. So yeah, that's kind of how it all worked. The camera gear that I use is Canon. It's all Canon. I generally shoot on the R5. I have the R6. I also have two Rs, and then like all the different focal lengths that you can imagine that you would need for a wedding. Because my primary job's weddings, and I'm happy to send you any information that you want on that. Just send me a DM. So yeah, JC, the other day I was watching baby sign language on YouTube with my 6-year-old, 6-week-year-old. He lost interest, so I played your opening scenes from How to Build an AR. He immediately became engaged. That's hilarious. Chris, think you could run us through your range bag? Oh yeah, I need to do that. I was gonna make a video on that, but hey, I'll do it right now. Yeah, I'll run you through my range bag. Let me go get it. So it's not actually a bag. And also I won't be able to get all of it. I usually carry, okay, right. Yeah. So I've got a gun bag that I carry like almost all my stuff in. I usually have like my either 2 rifles that I'm going to train with and then a couple handguns. I don't shoot all of them every time. It's just like what I'm going to train with. Usually what I bring to the range is my plate carrier setup, my gun bag, which holds ammo, plate carriers, or just like magazines in general, and most of my guns. And then I bring this, and I have my Ear Pro right here. I've got secondary Ear Pro. These are just the Safariland like in-ear ones. So if you ever watch my videos and think that guy doesn't wear Ear Pro, I do. I just don't wear the over the ear ones, though I do have them. So the Howard Light electronic Ear Pro, I have those. Stapler to staple targets up. And then I've got my pack timer that I always bring with me. And then just kind of like random things from here. You got your right in the rain, because you got to have a right in the rain. A schmock, goon tape, a lot of your pro, in case I'm like taking someone or a group of people out with me to do training. I like to have stuff for everybody. So I keep a lot of ear pro. Eye protection. I don't generally wear these because I mostly just wear my glasses as my eye protection. But I do have them for other people if needed. Then I've got a flashlight. I usually keep some type of lubricant in this thing, but that reminds me, I need to go buy some more. It exploded. And then I've got staples, Sharpies, extra ammo, and batteries and stuff like that. So like this is like kind of the basics of what I bring to the range. And usually I don't touch like most of that stuff. It's basically just for having it if I ever needed it. The things that I use the most are obviously a stapler, my pack timer, which I highly recommend you get, and then these if I'm shooting handguns, because they're a lot more comfortable sometimes than the in-ear stuff. And I like to be able to hear with the electronic feature. So yeah, that is basically what I bring to the range. Let me see if I need to grab the other thing. I don't think so though. Yeah, this is the range bag that I use. It's from Savior, and it's their OD green one. This fits comfortably 2 rifles with my simple placard, or like my minimal placard that holds 3 mags. And then basically in the front, I keep on my suppressors and a couple handguns. Whoa. And then I've got my plate carrier over there. So that's basically what I bring to the range every time I go. Hopefully that was helpful. Dalton. How do you go to the bathroom in public while carrying Appendix? You always use a stall. So yeah, it's kind of the funny thing is you always use a stall. Calvin, really appreciate your feedback on everything. You'll get 200K subs in no time. Honestly, like looking at the way things have gone, I think I will. It's pretty wild. SA Tactical, I have a 7.5 AR pistol and it has trouble feeding from time to time. Any advice or suggestions? It could be multiple things. So it could be your buffer spring, could be your buffer the wrong weight. It could be if you don't have an adjustable gas block, then you might just be putting out the wrong amount of gas through the gas tube into your bolt carrier group. It could be a cleaning issue if you don't clean your guns enough. It could be it could be magazines. So there are quite a few things that you need to look at. Usually your buffer is the issue when it comes to feeding. No. Feeding issues have a lot to do with your mags. But so if you look at the mechanics, the way that your gun works, so you fire around, gas travels up through your gas tube, comes back down, shoots into your bolt carrier group. Your bolt carrier group throws it back. So you have to have the right buffer weight. So your bolt carrier group can go all the way back into the buffer, and then it'll pick up the next round. And so your mags have to be seated properly. You have to have good mags. And when it picks up the next round, it loads the cartridge into the barrel, locks into the barrel, and then you fire next round. So, yeah, you just kind of like have to visualize what's going on in your rifle, and then if it's like locking back too early, or if it's not locking back at all, then you'll know that you're under gassed. Like you, and I would look up videos on troubleshooting, just type in what's happening, and you'll likely be able to find what's happening there. Gary, hey, what kind of wraps are on your 223 Wild build? Wraps. Oh, it's from Burn Proof Gear. The thing around the handguard, yeah, Burn Proof Gear. Yeah, cool. I like it. Kalishnikov, when you're doing an AK video, I'm working on it. Yeah, I've got so many things. So yeah, just stay tuned. I'm sorry, I'm working on it. Heath, I'll never own an NFA item. I can't stomach asking government for permission. Yeah, hopefully the NFA can get banned, and so we don't have to do that crap anymore. Lamar, have you reviewed or done any thoughts on the FGC9? No, I haven't. I'll have to look it up. Rock, let's see. When did you acquire Rail Skills anchors? They've been in perpetual out of stock since November 2022 for me. Sorry, I like couldn't read that for a second. Yeah, they go out of stock all the time. I got mine a long time ago, maybe like a year and a half ago. So yeah, I'll reach out to them and I'll see. They probably won't respond to me, but we'll see. I'd love to know, because I was actually gonna put some stuff on a new build I'm working on. To be a real shame if someone's RC2 fell out of a truck and got the numbers scratched up, and somehow that person became 2K richer. But yeah, that'd be a weird scenario. Yeah, it would be a weird. Yeah. Mario, will you be doing a video on the Mossberg 590A1 once you kit it out? Yes, I will be. I'm very excited to kit out that shotgun and do a video on it. Yep, for sure. Mike, opinion on Talon grips. They're 50-50 rubber, granulated, ugly, but a dang good grip. Yeah, I agree. I really like Talon grips. I think that they are inexpensive. It's like a really great inexpensive way to add grip to your gun. I think both the granulated and the rubberized textures are both awesome. So yeah, I totally recommend them. Softly, thoughts on the G36C, the classic G36. It was the first airsoft gun I ever bought. There's a place in my heart for that gun. I don't know if I'll ever own one in like real life because I like ARs more, but it's there. It's there from Counter-Strike. 2A Overland. What Vortex is that? Yeah, you're probably talking about that. It's the Strike Eagle 128. And I don't know if I really think it's the optic in the world. I'm looking more into like swamp than a Strike Eagle. It's still it served its purpose and it did a great job while I've had it. So I don't think it's bad necessarily, and they're really inexpensive. So Kyle, I've been thinking about building one of your 223 wild build. Roughly, how much did that cost? Yeah, most of my ARs are in like the $3,000 to $4,000 range, but I know where each dollar went, so it makes it worth it. And I also work with a lot of companies who help it be less expensive than that. But like the base, it gets expensive for some reason. So if you're just looking for like a good rifle, it's going to be $2,000 range to 25 to $2,000 to $2,500 is where you're going to be at. Joseph, can you recommend a holster company? Yeah, I've talked a little bit about those. I would say Tier 1 is one of the best holster companies out there, most known, I would say. And then Black Arch is another that's really good, who's making some great stuff. And then Works holsters are on there for me. I think they're good. And then T-Rex Arms makes a lot of stuff that I use. So those are all good ones. Joseph, will you do a build on the Moss 590? Yes, I will. Yeah, I just talked about that. Kyle, probably depends on what you want, really. Yes. 20-inch. I think you're in the realm of H1. I would I don't know. I need to do research. I haven't built out anything over 16 inches. So I know 16-inch below buffer weights. I believe it would be an H1, but I'll have to look that up. Ted, what's your background before getting into shooting? Nothing in the gun world, that's for sure. Like no law enforcement, no military. I'm just a civilian through and through. My grandfather on my dad's side took me shooting, and I shot his, what's it called? It broke my arm. It hurts so bad. And I was just a kid too. Dang, it's like a fat rifle. And I'm just blinking. Then 30-06. That's what it was. Yeah, literally broke my arm off. And I was like, yeah, that was fun, but I'll probably never do it again. And then it was just a couple of years ago. I was like, dang, I'm really interested. And yeah, it was probably mostly politically motivated as to why I got interested in firearms. But it's become a lot more than that now. So yeah, not a lot though. I just kind of stumbled into it. Frosty's first time person about to go build their first complete build. Any place build something like that. Heck yeah, dude. There's a lot of education on YouTube. I mean, you can find people who recommend all types of things. Oh man, where would I point you to? I would just point you to Google, and I would say, look up what are all the parts to an AR-15, and then look at all the parts that go into building an AR-15, and then like pick a part and type it into the search bar and learn about it. And then, so like for example, like what are all the parts to an AR-15? You're gonna see buffer. Type into YouTube, what are the 5 best buffers in 2023? And then someone's going to have a video where they talk about 5 different buffers and why they use them and what they're for. That's like a great way to learn about different parts of ARs. And then before you know it, you're building ARs like a pro. Master Guy, man, how you doing? I'm doing great, dude. How are you doing? Oh, this has been going for 2 hours now. So I have to get pretty soon. And wait, I was asking about was a Ruger Star SFAR, if that matters. XD, I just got the Glock 45 with suppressor height sights. Oh, which suppressor height sights do you recommend? Trijicon makes really good ones. Night Fission, FIS, Fizz, ION, Vision makes really good ones. I've also XS sights. They make good ones. Ameriglow makes good ones. So if I had to pick 2, it would be Trijicon or Night Vision, though. So I love those 2. Johnny, have you ever traveled via airlines with your weapon? If so, any future content or recommendations, tips? Good question. No, I've never flown with my guns before. I don't even really know the full process to that. So I'd have to figure that out. I actually think that T-Rex Arms did a video on that. So I could be totally wrong, but I believe I did see that. Martin on the job. Yes, I carry always. So all-wheel drive motion. Is there any way to get in touch with someone at Aeronox? Oh yeah. So yeah, I can reach out to Corey. He is a one-man show. The guy who runs Aeronox, awesome guy. He works harder than anybody that I know to make sure that people are satisfied, and he makes great stuff. So I can reach out to him. I'll see if I can get in touch. I'm sorry that you've had such a tough experience with him. Mario, how is Utah for firearm laws? I'm looking at relocating out of California. It's going to crap here. Come to Utah. You are safe here. Mm. Uh, all the people that I've talked to who are in legislative positions are pro 2A. The law enforcement here is pro 2A. So there's just a really good chance that you're safe. Yeah, we love our rights here. Jesper, any recommendations for a good AR-15 lowers? Everyone says they're very similar, so it's kind of hard to find certain one I like. Yeah, it depends. It just go based off of your budget. It doesn't really matter. People are right in a general scheme. You really just pay any money you're paying over like $60 is more for features. So if you want like an ambidextrous controls, or if you want a different machining process or like how the lower was actually prepared. There's like different ways. There's milled, there's billet, there's a forged. So there's a couple different ways that they're actually created. So yeah, it kind of just depends. I would stick with brands like Aero or BCM if you can afford it, or something if you can afford it. Radian honestly makes an incredibly good lower receiver. I really have liked Silencer Co's as I've used it. Their controls are great, and the features that you get with that one are awesome. So if you're on the lower end, I would go with Aero because it's just all around a good one. If you can spend $400, go with Radian or Silencer Co for $200. So yeah, all things. Mario, hypothetically, if we were to go to Utah, what particular town or area is a good area to settle? I've only visited once, and it was a place called Eagle Mountain. Yeah, Eagle Mountain is actually great. We almost live there. I would, you can either go south or you can go west for like kind of the good areas. I would look more into Eagle Mountain. I would look into Payson. I would look into Mapleton. All awesome places. I'm getting connection unstable stuff. Okay, everybody, I'm going to end this here. It's been about 2 hours now. So that is the end of this live stream. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you as an individual. I think you are just amazing, and I'm so grateful for the support. I want you to know how much it means to me, and like how much this has changed my life. I really hope that I can continue to provide content and support and education that I can on this channel. And it is because of you guys that I'm able to do that. And that's like, this is genuinely, I really appreciate you guys. So overall, thank you for being here and sticking with me on these lives where I rant and talk about random things. Other than that, I'll see you next time. I try to do these every week. Let me see if there's anything else here. Yeah, appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Okay, talk to you later.